One, two. All right. Sounds like we're good to go. All right. So we're going to do another PPU swap today. I'm going to swap this, what I think is probably a good CPU, but I'm not 100% sure. I had it on a logic analyzer and it looked pretty okay. But this board doesn't work. So before I go messing further with it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this CPU off this board, um, put it back on a known good board, and see if the change of moving it and moving it around has actually caused the problem. See if like I damaged the CPU in removing it. So to try and help with not damaging it, I've got some thermal protector on top of the CPU right now. And then I've also got a special tip for focusing uh, hot air around the edges this time. So let's just see if how this works. So this time should be a lot. Temperature's going up to 400. Just on the the just on the paper this time we should see hopefully a little bit. We should see a pattern. So let's see. See the pattern. Yeah, the pattern should be a pattern on the paper. Let's just see. Yeah, you can see the pattern on the paper there. Well, maybe you can't. Hang on. Yeah, there's the pattern on the paper, right? So that's the heat pattern that we should be getting this time. All right, so let's try and just I want to take away that light. Actually, I don't need it. And this we're going to just I'm just going to do this basically, right? Because now um, when I do this, it should be going right down to the pins. So, and with the weight of the let's just give me a second here before I do this. Let's just run a timer. It would be better to do that on my phone actually. Um, but I'm just run a timer here just to see how long this is going to take. Should be like 90 seconds, but let's put it on 2 minutes, see what happens. Okay, so here we go. Started it. And let's just see how long does it take for the chip to pop. Should be 183 degrees is when it should melt this solder. 1 second. Actually, let me just put this up here for a second. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Made a mistake. Let me just put this back where I found it. 1 second. Because what I want to do is, I think I have a thermocouple. I want to see if I can use my thermocouple. 936. Actually, it's an 858 hot air station. 858. Yes, 858 hot air station. Let me see. Oh boy, that's pretty hot. So let's get the thermocouple out. Where's my thermocouple? Sorry, it's got to get my. Just got to see if this thermocouple is going to work or will it be useful. Now that I think about it, dang, I think I know what I might have done here. I might have this thermocouple might be lost. Okay. Let me see. Thermocouple. Mhm. Okay. Why would that work? Okay. All right. So that's just. Okay. Let me just. I'm just gonna put this thermocouple kind of close to the area, but not exactly right beside the area. But I'm just gonna put it close to the area so we can get an idea of how hot this is getting. All right. Now. Oh, sorry. Now I'm gonna put this over here. Actually, let's put it down here. Oh, dang. Okay, let's just. All right. We'll get there with it. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, I'm probably going to just do a short stream tonight because I just wanted to see if I can. I just want to. I'm just doing some testing with these boards, with these new these SNES boards that I'm fixing. Just want to do some testing. I like what does it take to get the SNES CPU off, and then I can start to really practice it and get good at it. So, all right. So let's see where we're at. Okay. Okay. Remember, 183 is about where we're going to be at. So now the thermocouple is going to get hot, right? But that doesn't mean that the chip is at that temperature. Sorry. No. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so let's see when does this chip pop. It's pretty hot now. 223, but we don't know what the actual chip is at, right? But we know that the thermocouple is at 223. So this chip should come up shortly. There's a lot going on here. Oh, wow, already lost a lot of heat there. Let's bring it back up. It's not popping. Okay. So my thermal pad is starting to blister. Is that a sign of something going to happen? It's at 230 now. 41. Okay, let me stop for a second because it came off the other night a lot faster than that. So just wondering if I've made it worse here by introducing this little thermal pad. Maybe, maybe not. Not sure. Just know that thermal pad seems okay though. Just that it's expanded now, so it's just kind of making the flux. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just putting some more flux on right now. And we're definitely boiling flux now. Oh, sorry. Uh, Starts to get up to that 220, it starts to really blister. Okay, 1 second. I'll tell you, we're definitely preheating the board now. Okay, let me just take off this. Um, just gonna take off the thing there and leave it there for a second and see if we can't just pop this off the old-fashioned way. The weight of this should, the weight of this should pop it off, you know. So we'll see. The other one came off. Hmm, 240. Starting to get up there. I'm wondering like what do I need to get this thermocouple to? Okay, so for whatever reason, this is not popping off. Not. Yeah, I know. I was waving it around like that the last time though. I don't know why it's yeah, I think you're right. Let me wave it a bit. Let me wave it a bit less. Okay. All right. Let me wave it a bit less. I don't know why I'm getting so much trouble from this. Let me just yeah, you're probably right. Okay, let's just do it here. Okay, let's just heat it up till it comes off. Um, maybe it's just this chip is probably dead anyway. So I don't know what's going on now. But this, so hang on a sec. But this, I know what you're saying, but look, take a look at this. This nozzle is you see the nozzle? It's supposed to keep it away from the chip. You see what I mean? So it's actually, it's actually not supposed to heat the entire chip. But I mean, at this point, it's just gonna heat it anyway because um, it just is what it is. Um, yeah, it's just kind of heat. It's just not working right now. Now, when I got the chip off the other day, it was without the square nozzle. It was just with the round nozzle. Well, actually, no, that's working. Okay, so the thermocouple. Okay, wonder what am I doing wrong here? Okay, let's just boil it off. I mean, at this point, I just kind of getting tired of it now. At this point, I just want to see what am I doing wrong? All right. Okay. What did we hit? I don't know what we actually hit there. I guess I can watch it back. Um, okay. We might have. I hope we didn't pop a leg. We might have popped something. Okay, so um, yeah, we can fix that part. All right, so we have our CPU. Let's put that over there. We can put a new one down. Thermocouple is in. All right, we can remove this thermocouple. Okay, we've got a lot of, yeah, we don't need the thermocouple anymore for a minute at least. Remove this board out of the way. It's got a lot of juice on it, so we're just going to take it out of the way for now. And then we're going to bring in, okay, so that was like 2 something. I don't know what the exact temperature was when we brought it in, but it was 2 something. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is we'll just see if this board can be resurrected. All right, let's resurrect this board for a minute. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's heat up that iron. Okay, I was going to just check to see if I've got any better tips, one of the better tips for this job. Let's see, I don't know what that is. USB cable. Nope, nope, nope. No, not those tips. Nope, nope. Oop. More tips. Okay. A hoof tip is what I need. Yeah, not those, not those. Um, one of those might be useful for getting rid of solder. These are fine tips. Bifurcated tip. Small SMD parts. What are these? Chisel? Chisel. Now, some of these are going to be better than others, but they're... Yeah, there's a hoof tip. Actually, I have a hoof tip there. That's useful. That one might be useful, actually. Let's get that chisel. That I don't have that many hoof tips, but that's just that one might be interesting. The others are chisel. Let's see, do I have a hoof? That's yeah, they're lap flow. All right, those are other ones. These are screws. Okay, so there's a lot of solder removal ones. And the others, yeah, I'm gonna probably have to buy some maybe. This is SMD small parts. These are the fine ones. Okay, so I think we figured out how to do, how to do this. All right, so that's first. Those are tweezer tips. All right. All right, I think we're okay though. Got it. Okay, let's bring this guy back in. And we will, what do we do? We will just clean up. Yeah, let's just clean up this part first. So we can put back on the CPU. And I just want to see like how that CPU survives the survives all the heating, just kind of stress that it's been through. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. And then put you here. All right. Okay, and let's go picking up some solder. And I just pick up these ones. Yeah, there might be a few there we don't really look at, but I think on the whole we might be okay here. Let's just make sure that we get all this. Sorry. Okay, this looks reasonable enough. And then these guys, I'll just again just go up to them. Okay. Yeah, I think that's reasonable enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this back into its little holder, and then we're gonna solder back on the chip, and then we'll test the Super Nintendo. If the Super Nintendo works when we put the chip back on, we might try and save this one. Okay. Yeah, there's probably only so many times you can do this. Yeah, okay. Let me just get the Kim wipes. So I'm just gonna just give the gentle wipe with Kim wipes here, just so that we can get an idea of what we're dealing with. Yeah, I pretty much definitely like what's there. Little bit on these pads. Just clean this one off a little bit. I feel like a little bit extra here. Yeah, drag with the pads, rip off the pads. Yeah, good call out there. I think I was doing it against the grain maybe like the first time when you were looking at me, and then I fixed it up. So yeah, you're totally right there, Master. Okay, so we're getting there. So the Super Nintendo, it should come good, but yeah, the CPUs on the Nintendo are just notorious, absolutely notorious for these problems. And so hopefully we can hopefully we can fix this one. Maybe we can play Super Mario or not. All right, so we're getting there. I'm just tidying up these pads. All right. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. Let me just tidy up the. I'm just going to tidy up the ground pads because the ground pads are the ones where if it's sitting proud on the ground pads, then the chip won't be flat to the board. So just got to get all that juice up off the ground pads, and then we should be good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, there's one there with a lot of juice on it. One sec. You can just get them up now. All right. Okay. Let's leave it at that for now. Let's give it a let's give it some alcohol. You guys can't see here, but I'm watching Terminator, the first movie, on VHS over to my right. which I guess I could show you, but probably, I don't know, you probably get copyright strikes or something these days for doing something like that. Um, so yeah, I got the Terminator, the first one on VHS, and I got a little VHS player. This is like a whole retro room I've got going on. Good thing we can't hear it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's lots of explosions. Lots of explosions. Okay, so let's see. Our pads look good. We're reasonably clean, and I think we can put down our chip, right? So here's the chip, which is over here. It's kind of a little bit, well, that was a bad place for me to stick it, so that's my bad. It's caught in a, it's gotten caught in a little rut here. How did I leave that happen? Okay. Now, so here's our Super Nintendo chip. Should face this way, and we will be tacking this to the board, and then we'll see it. So you reckon, so Master, what you're saying is this chip is going to be fine. It gets your approval, gets the thumbs up from Master. You reckon this chip is going to be, oh, that's interesting. You reckon this chip is going to be just hunky dory, huh? Is that what you're thinking? Even though I burnt it to a crisp, you think it's going to be fine? All right. Well, I mean, you have not been wrong in the past, so we won't. The soldering is not going to be the issue. Okay, what's going to be the issue? Tell me, tell me what you see. Okay. All right. So this, oh, the silicon. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. These CPUs are utter trash, so there is that. Okay, so let's just bring this over. No, 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 you're too much. So if you've just tuned in, folks, what we're doing is we're fixing a Super Nintendo by replacing and swapping its CPU from a working Nintendo. Um, very common in the good old CPU or SNES modding slash SNES fixing community, of which I'm now a part of. So, whoa, all right, okay, all right. Let's see. Now we got to line up our chip pins first, which I feel like that is some high quality lining up that I just did. What do you reckon? Okay, so if you're not part of the party of how this works, now what we got to do is we got to just tack the edges. So we tack the ground pins, so one at each corner. Silicon said, which method? Soldering, hot air, or tack plus hot air? Soldering. I'm going to do soldering. Yeah, solder, solder, or solder, as they say, solder. Um, I'm going to use the soldering method. All right, so there we go. So I just want to tack. Right, tack this one. All right, so now we got a couple of corners tacked. Uh, yeah, all right. Now let's tack here and here. All right. And then we'll do, I guess up here. Well, see, now well, actually now we're in, now we're just in, it's been tacked now. So it's pretty, so what I've done is I've tacked the corners, right? And so at this point, we should be reasonably good to go. But what we'll do is we're going to add a little bit of flux paste now. Um, okay, one second here. Wait a second. All right. Uh, Give me a second. Give me a second here. Yeah, yeah. This stuff is a little bit. Oh, look. I mean, this. Just give me a minute. This stuff can be a little bit sketchy. Um, you see, like, oh, whoops. Okay, I wasn't watching what I was doing there, folks, and stuff got a little bit scary. All right, so we're just gonna. Um, so when you're cooking chips, what you want to do is liberally spread your soldering paste over all of the chips legs, just like what I did there. Liberally spread it. Lord, that was all right. So it's a bit messy. I'm not, I'm not operating on all cylinders right now. Don't sneeze and rip the traces off. I would try not to. Okay, so um, what did we do? We asked, how are we going to do it? So unfortunately, I don't have a hoof tip. I should have had a hoof tip. This is a hoof tip. See this right here? I'll show you just. So this is a hoof tip. See it? This holds solder. Oh, you know what? Let me do it. Let me just do it. I always have, as Master is a regular viewer in here, I always tend to have the right equipment and then never use it. So what I'm going to do is now is I'm going to just take out this tip. I'll put in a new tip, which is this is what's called a hoof tip or a concave tip. And the idea of this thing is that it actually, oh boy, that was a bad idea. It actually holds solder or solder um, in the little hoof. Yeah, it's like a bent spoon. It holds the solder in like a little hoof, and then you you sort of just put it over the edges of the chip. Then it actually kind of drips the solder onto the chip. So we'll see how having the tools for the right job might help here. Um, okay, we're at temp. All right. So now that we're at temp, I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. Right. So let me just bring that thing. Right. So you fill it. See there? You fill the little hoof like that, and then the idea is that then you would drag it across the pins like this. That was my bad. I kind of screwed that up. But you see the solder is going down onto the legs as you're dragging it along like that. Okay. All right. Now let's do it on this side. Okay. So you can see there, right? You can see how all the connectivity is occurring. You can see that we still have a little bit of solder under there, right? And we can test all these pins in a minute. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit more solder. Yeah, you like that? Do you like that? Do you see how well it's working, Master? Oh, hey folks. So we're doing some what's called spoon or hoof tip soldering here. We're fixing a Super Nintendo, folks. So if you are of the video gaming persuasion. This is the place to be. Once we put this CPU back onto this Super Nintendo, we might do some gaming, we might test some games, we might, God knows what we might do. I got a really cool new copy of uh, Zelda recently that I'm excited to try. All right, this is good. Oh, bridge, but you see, doesn't matter. That doesn't matter with this hoof tip. You see, what happens with the hoof tip is, you see with that, what happened there was that even though there was a bridge and there's another one, right? The hoof tip actually takes back up the solder. So it'll take the solder back into the hoof tip. So here, look. Well, you kind of can't see it now. Anyway, it'll do it. When the hoof when the hoof that's inside the tip is empty with solder, then it will start to kind of take back up the thing. Now, what's interesting here is oh dear, oh, did something happen here? Uh-oh. Oh, this is going to be tricky. So we're going to have to see if I've screwed this up now or not, but we might get away with it. Okay, so this is a little nasty, and I'll show you why. So what's happened here is somehow when I was doing one of the other edges, it looks like I may have misaligned the chip. Okay, so you see the way the chip is misaligned with the legs? So that's obviously a problem. Um, but when you're using enough flux, you should get to a point where the legs aren't going to like overflow or anything. They're not going to join to each other. But now I've got legs that aren't aligned, right? So I just got to be very careful that I don't have a leg that is going to. Interesting. Now, how did that happen? Pretty sure I lined it up when I did it, but you know what? This is, you live and learn, right? Yeah, this is a pain now. Okay, so we got some problems. I think you can see what the problem is. Um, we'll go a little closer and we can look at it in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to bring the microscope down and in, and we're going to go a little closer to the chip to see what happened here. And I think what happened was I just, I mean, I screwed up the alignment. Okay, so we're in on the Nintendo, and then here's where I screwed up the alignment. Now, even though I screwed up the alignment, you can see that there's still gaps, right? So I've screwed up the alignment here. It isn't great. You know, anybody who can see this would have instantly seen that there was a way better ways to do it. But I may still get away with it because, yeah, slightly misaligned, Master is correct. Um, we may still get away with it because the flux is going to help the solder wick away from the legs. All right, so now we're going to just we're going to see, can we fix this, right? So well, we won't fix it that way, that's for sure. But let's just keep going. Sorry, it was on the clock. All right. Now it does look like I'm having trouble making some level. I wonder, is that what happened? It does feel like I'm not able to get down onto the pads. Okay, so something else might have happened here. I don't feel like I've got a connection to the pads. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so I'm going to raise the microscope again, so bear with me. Scope's coming up. Yeah, 1 second. All right, so scope's coming up. All right, we're going to go like this. All right, now I'm going to tilt the board a little bit so we can see If the all right, this gets. I mean, this is all gets tricky with this stuff. But we should be able to do something shortly. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, all right. So now are the legs up off the board? No, I don't think so. Sorry. No, they're not up off the board. I might have a connection actually. It's not great though. Yeah. So here's the mistake it looks like I made. It looks like when the when I put the chip down, um, we're going to do it almost vertical now. We'll be able to see it better. Um, I put the chip down. I don't think it was flush. So it wasn't flush to the board. Because it wasn't flush to the board, sorry, the legs kind of stayed up. All right, let me see here. All right, let's go. Let's bring this around. Sorry, it's very hard to see this, and it's hard for me to even magnify it. It's really annoying. Uh, all right, let's just do U11. Okay, SNES PPU. Yeah, okay, so I gotta bring this guy over. All right. Okay, so these are the legs we're interested in. You see these right here? You see they're lifted up off of the board. Now, why did that happen? Yeah, these look like they're actually quite up off the board. So this was a major mistake on my part. Maybe maybe underneath the chip there was some debris or something. You see, look how high those legs are. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, so let me put it back down for a second. We'll now I have an Uber microscope. Let's see if I can bring in the Uber scope. This is going to be interesting. God, don't even know if I can bring in this guy. Let's see if it'll work. Um, this little Uber scope is pretty badass. Um, let me get my Sharpie first. Okay, so not Sharpie, craft knife. All right, let me just before we do anything, let me just get my craft knife. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I might have connection. I might have connection. Wait a second, folks. I might have screwed it up, but yeah, slightly misaligned and I wasn't pressing down. Um, so we might have gotten away with it, but what I want to do next is I have a super scope. Well, let's bring in the super scope and see if we can get real close up on it. And if we get the super scope, okay, video capture card. This thing is like the badass of the badasses of I'm just adding it to my OBS right now. So we'll call it mini scope. All right, add new source, add source. And it's a very special. All right, USB microscope. Right, let's see what happens. Is this gonna work? Please work. Okay. Where's my mini scope? All right, properties, and let's just see if we can get this mini scope to operate. Hmm. Okay. Is not operating. Why not? All right, so a little bit of through here. All right. Why is this not coming on? USB microscope, USB 3.0 capture, integrated webcam, USB scope. Deactivate, and then let me reactivate it. So if we can get this thing to activate, then we'll really be able to see kind of what's going on with the chip legs. And we will have to, okay, activate. Come on. Okay, I'm just activating it. Is it going to come on? Oh, yes, it did. It did, but power. Okay, right. So let me just kill. Um, I want to kill. There's a logic analyzer that I've got. It's plugged in, and I think that logic analyzer is sucking all the juice. So we're gonna deactivate it and then reactivate it again, and then see if we can't go from here. While we're doing that, while it's reactivating, deactivating, we will clean the CPU. All right, and then we'll go over the CPU and we'll double check all the joints. Um, and even if we can't get the Super Scope to work, we will we'll go at it with something else. We'll bring in a really high res view of the legs and see where we're at. Okay. And if we're lucky, if we're lucky, we maybe have gotten lucky. So we'll just see. We'll see how we're doing. Okay. We just need to have enough. Yeah, this is not going to work. All right, that's okay. I need to figure out how to get that to work though, which I think is my next job. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put this in. Oh, hang on. Wait a sec. Yeah, it's trying to plug in. It's just not activating. So I'm going to do one more time. While we're doing that, I'm going to bring down the scope to like a ridiculous level, and then we'll get a real good look at this chip. There we go. No, that's too low. Too low. All right. Now, we can't tell from here. We're never going to tell. So let's just see if we can activate this guy again. If the activation doesn't work, we can probably just call it and use the other scope. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. Okay, that's fine. All right, leave that there. Leave that there. Get rid of this. And now let's just have a look at these legs. All right, so this is the legs that we were looking at that were up off the board, right? So um, definitely sketchy doozy, right? But here's how we know if we've got a problem here, right? And that is we get out our very fine probe, right? Let's get a look at our very fine probe. And if we get our very fine probe, like if I wasn't streaming this, I would um I would restart this, right? But because you guys are watching and I don't want to waste time with you, waste your time, we'll just we'll check and see what's going on here. So this is my fine probe. You see it right here. Boom, boom, boom. So you would go along here and you would see, okay, so I lifted the legs off the board, I soldered it, I screwed it up, but did my legs attach, right? So you would go through here like this, and you just poke each leg, right? So that's attached, attached. By the way, if these aren't attached, they will bend like instantly. Like they will not, they don't play around, right? So these are all so far attached, and this is the most important one. So that means they're attached to the pads beneath, right? So this kind of shows you, I guess, I screwed this up. This is bad workmanship. But I somehow got away with it because they're beneath their legs. I could still just redo it. I know, but do I need to do? Do I need to redo it? I just want to test it and see if this board's going to come back alive. So let's test it and see if the board comes back alive. If the board comes back alive and we can play Nintendo, then you know it shows you that even big screw ups like me can still fix stuff. Now this leg I bet you is not attached. Did I screw this one up? Oh yeah, look. See those? They're not attached. Okay. Yeah, these ones. So I screwed this up. All right, so let's bring in now that we've proven that that's a mess. Um, but yeah, you know what though? Is this the same problem? I think it is the same problem. Yeah. See, I think these are all a little bit lifted. So you see that? You see what happened there? So it looks like maybe there's something under the chip or something that's causing me to solder it not, yeah, not to the actual legs. And so this is going to be very trial and error now to try and make sure that we've got, I'm going to have to put pressure on, put pressure on the pin to make sure that it's down on the pad. And then, we can be pretty confident that we've soldered it. But 100% not ideal, any of this. Okay. Uh, Fine though. It's all part of the excitement on this channel where I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, but then I screw everything up. Um, okay, that leg's weird. All right, so let's just do them as we see them. Okay. So which leg was it? This one? Okay. Yeah, these aren't going anywhere. Okay. All right. So you can see here that even though I've kind of screwed this up a little bit, we can just kind of go one by one and just get them down, So, right, let's just do this. Yeah, it would appear that these are eating solder, but they're not actually down on the board. So that's so yeah. So I did screw this up on one of the sides here. Okay, so here's what you do. You just go down like this. You drag, you drag this little thing, and if it pulls a pin, well, you screwed it up, right? There we go. There's another one. Okay, we're nearly at the end now anyway, so let's just looks like, where is it here? Okay. Yeah, Anthony, that looks like it, right? I mean, look, I screwed it up. I know, guys. Look, it's honestly, I get like a little bit of, yeah, it's like a point 0.5 mil. I get a little bit of time to come out here in the evenings and after the kids and all that, and I what I kind of take this as part of the experience at this point. I'm like, look, I could redo it. I think you all know I could redo it, but we also know that um, we can just fix it too, right? Now, hot airing this back off and putting it back on again, I mean, that's a whole thing, right? Like, whereas I have the equipment here to know if I'm down to the board, right? I can just be 100% sure that every single one of these legs is connected, is um, is on its leg. Um, yeah, sure, I screwed that one up. We're nearly there now. But so there's just a little bit of work to do here, and then we can test this. We can test this board and just see if the CPU is back to life. Um, so yeah, I think guys, do not follow this example. I think I've shown you how not to do this probably, but maybe it's also like, look, when I was doing this and I was like, okay, I'm like maybe not great today, but when I was doing this and I was really bad at it, um, like even worse than right now, like I was bending pins and God knows what, uh, I would make these mistakes more often. Like I won't make this mistake again this week probably, but I would make this mistake all the time when I was starting out doing this stuff, and you know, this is how I have to fix it. Okay. All right. So we've actually done that whole side, right? So I think I've shown you all now that the pins are down. As Anthony called out there, we are probably with about zero point 0.5 mil of clearance of some sort here. Um, and we're going to have to compensate for that now. All right. So I'm going to just bring in some more light. We're now going to look at this side. Oh, Bridgie. Bridgie McBridgerson. All right. So let's fix that. Let me just bring that in there. There we go. Thank you. Um, yeah, so it's what's quite possibly is actually after happening here is that um, under under the chip there's like something like I sat the chip down on some dirt or a piece of solder or something, and so the chip is sitting a little up. Oh, oh, cool. So that's why you see that's you see what I mean? If I had done this, oh, if I had sat it down right, I'd be done already, right? You see, this side is sat down perfect, absolutely no legs whatsoever. And if anybody who was here at the beginning of this stream, I pretty much soldered that in like 2 seconds. So I could have been all done here. We'd be testing and playing this Nintendo right now. Don't forget the bridge. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we started that one. Okay, now let's do the last set of CPU pins. And this is great. I have a few people hanging on now, watching this, which is cool. I hope this wasn't a total waste of your time. We will get there with the thing. There's a lifted leg. I know this is not going to be, that's not connected. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of spot it. You can just tell that, like, you know, let's just, we'll fix that one, but let's just check the rest. And sometimes you can just tell just by looking at them. They're just not connected. Near pin 8. Oh, there we go. There's another one. Yeah, near pin 18. Yeah, you're right. And there's one for sure. Let's get that one. Okay. And like I said, this hoof tip that I'm using, which I'll show you under the scope as well, is just absolutely legendary for this work. So if you were trying to go at this with like a regular, a regular soldering tip, it's a little frustrating. The hoof tip is unbelievable. It stores solder in the little hoof, and then it also sucks up solder in the little hoof, right? So there's the little hoof. Do you see it? Let me see. There it is. See the little hoof there? Let me clean this. Sorry, it's disgusting. What was I doing? Okay, let me show you the hoof tip at this edge. See, that stores solder, and so it kind of allows the solder to store in there, and then it'll you know drip it off and give you that that's not great. Let me just bring it at the top there. There's a tiny bit of solder in this hoof tip, and I'm going to use it to just draw down on this chip on this pin. But yeah, the hoof tip will save your life. It's so great. I mean, one of the best inventions ever. All right, let's have a quick look. And there you go. All right. Oh, oh, sorry. No, that was my bad. I screwed that up. Okay. Probably I need a little bit of solder. So let's just get some. So just so you can see what I'm doing here, I'm going to put the solder into the hoof tip. Boop, like that. Now you can see there's a little bit in there. And so that will the hoof tip will draw that will the pins will draw that out. You'll see it. You'll see the pin taking it. You see it there? Actually, there's more than one pin taking it now. All right, and you see the way the pins take that solder just out of the hoof tip, and hopefully now we can. Yeah, he's on now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's it, folks. Now, so that's really good. Got good scoping. I'm sorry, you're looking at the top of the microscope here, which is probably not the best. Let me just take that out of there. Better. Um, but yeah, um, I mean, obviously, this site here is a freaking disaster. But it is a disaster that's connected to its pads. Look, see that? Not a budgie. Not a budgie. Now, the risk of doing that, the risk with that is that the there's some risk of bridging here, right? Have these accidentally connected to one another? There's some alcohol so you can see clearer, right? But with the flux, when you do it this way, the flux kind of prevents that from happening, right? So the flux will just like wick away the solder away from the pins, and stop them from connecting to each other. So even though that is like disgustingly misaligned, those chips aren't gonna, those pins aren't going to bridge on each other, right? So now let me just do a little bit better idea here. And you'll see if you look a little bit closer, we can just get a little bit closer here and maybe still be able to see what's going on. Um, you can probably see that yeah, now you see what's happened? Take a quick look there. See what's happened? The pads are drawn up to the pin. So like I screwed it up, but you see the way they're connected? See that? Just look how much solder's under the pins. Look at this, it's ridiculous. Oh my God, I screwed that up so badly. But you see what I did? The solder is actually gone in under the pins and it's drawn over to the pads, right? So that just shows you with some good flux, even a misalignment like this, and look, those pins are going nowhere, right? They're all connected and none of them are bridged to each other. So pretty crappy job, okay? But this Super Nintendo is bootable, right? Absolutely bootable, and that there's nothing that CPU is going to be happy happy out, right? There's no reason why that CPU would misbehave given how awesome a connection it now has to its pads. So um, we will leave it at that for a second, right? So I'm going to just kill the heat to the soldering iron. Now, next job is going to be to boot up this Super Nintendo and see what it play a game, right? Now, I'm going to be so happy if this works because I've transferred this CPU now off of God knows how many boards, and you know, I'm like, what's the over under on this actually working? Who thinks this is going to work? because I tell you, I'm a little bit sketched out. I'm like, I do not know. This is like pretty. This is pretty sketchy witchy. Not with that bridge. What bridge? I got rid of the bridge. What are you talking about? Do I have a bridge? Where's my bridge? Did I miss one? See, now you're freaking me out. What did I do wrong? Okay, okay, okay. I'm checking, I'm checking, I'm checking. No, 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 no bridgey, no bridgey. No bridgey, no bridgey. Oh! Oh! Oh my gosh. Uh-uh. Okay. All right. All right. See, chat, this is why I do this on stream. This is why I do it on stream. Chat always finds the bridges. There's been so much stuff that I have uh, screwed up and has been found on this channel. Um, sorry. There we go. Yeah. Good on you, chat. Good on you. All right, because that would have been a bit of an anticlimax, right? Of like, oh hey, I fixed it, but then no, I didn't. All right, let's just do a quick check for more bridges. All the grounds look good. All right. Thank you, chat. Thank you. You're the best. Everybody loves you. And you strike again. Okay, in a second here. Oh my God, there's so much junk. Can't even tell you. All right, what are we gonna do? Now we got to do overhead and video game. So there's our overhead. Don't skip the rest. What? Don't skip which? What am I skipping? Oh, skip the. Oh yeah, okay. Well, actually, I'm not sure what you mean, but I won't skip it. All right, let's do video game. Well, let's do overhead. Let's do overhead because we can do this video game from the overhead. All right, so we will do a burn-in test. All right, there we go. Where's my burn-in cartridge? Oh no, we'll use my. Let's tell you what we'll do. If we fix this, we're gonna fix it with Hal's Hole-in-One Golf. My favorite Nintendo. I mess you not. I played Hal's Hole-in-One Golf so much when I was a kid, like ridiculous levels of Hal's Hole-in-One Golf. Um, it's the simplest, but one of the most fun. I'm just over here looking for something. Give me a sec. It's the simplest, but one of the most fun little games on the Nintendo. Um, Great game design. Um, just great game design and just a lot of fun. Simple. And man, I loved it. I played so much of that game. I think it was one of the first, probably one of the first games that I guess I spent a lot of time in on the Super Nintendo was Hal's Hole-in-One Golf. Um, is it as good as Mario Golf? Um, what do you mean? Don't skip the rest. You skip the top row. How do you mean I skipped the top row, Anthony? What did I do? Now you've got me. Everybody's freaking me out now. What am I missing? I'm supposed to know what I'm doing here. This is Mick Fixes Junk. I'm supposed to know how to fix things. I have fixed things. I have fixed things. Believe me. Believe it. Believe it. Be a believer. If you look at my channel, I fix things. Maybe not tonight. Maybe not tomorrow. But I have fixed things. Oh boy. Um, all right, now I gotta go look and see what Anthony's talking about. Because now Anthony's freaking me out. All right, so there's obviously there's our what are we doing here? What are we doing here? All right, don't skip the rest, said Anthony. And I don't know what Anthony meant by that. I don't know if he meant there's more bridges. I don't think there's more bridges, but hey, you know what? You just never know. All right, this is the other side. Don't skip the rest. What does, what did he mean? Okay. Pretty terrible soldering job, but we will. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. Is it as good as Mario Golf? You know what? I don't have as many hours in Mario Golf, so I couldn't tell you. Um, all I can tell you is that House Hole in One Golf's amazing. You should play it. That's all I got for you. All right. Now what's this? House Hole in One. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right. We can do that. We'll do it your way. Um. Okay. Uh. No. Okay. Let's go back. Game. It's a mega bummer if this is not working. Yeah, screen change. It's booting. It's booting, but it's not doing it. Okay, so let's okay, so I'm going to show you something right here. This is a Super Game Boy, right? So the Super Game Boy is very useful for testing Super Nintendos because it has specific behaviors that you can use to tell if certain things are broken. All right, so nothing out of the Super Game Boy. All right, let's take the cartridge out of the Super Game Boy. Still nothing out of the Super Game Boy. Okay, let's. God damn. All right, we're getting nothing tonight. Nothing is working. Okay, so let's clean that, and then let's clean that, and let's clean you. Oh my God. There's some dust and dirt in there. How did that get in there? Okay. All right, let's put you down. All right, let's put the cartridge slot down again. Let's put. I think the CPU might be dead, chat. You know that? That's gonna suck. Hmm. Burn-in test isn't even working. Dodgy bridge on one of the corners, maybe not. Okay. Might have seen some bridges in between the pins right up against the epoxy packaging. Okay. We can check that. Uh, all right. Let's bring in my. Sorry, I just have my plastic undercarriage. All right. Let's go back to the. Let's go back to scope. Yeah, the lighting tricks. Well, I mean that's the thing with some of this, right? Like the light can be tricky, or the light can play tricks on you. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to just go in and we're going to have a look at the pins again. All right, so I mean, obviously this top row, we're going to look at that last because it just stinks. The whole thing stinks. All right, so we're going to look at this. All right, so these are, sorry. All right, so this is this side of it. This is the pin we just fixed. Make sure that this is switched off. It is switched off. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think the CPU is dead, chat. Oh, okay. That's okay though. So that leg is not connected at the back, but it is connected at the front. See? So that's okay. All right. So okay, so we'll just do a last few checks here. Yeah. Okay. So whoopsie doopsie. Um, okay, we're going to do some more. We're going to do what we'll do is we will check the CPU with a logic analyzer. Pin 71, 72, system clock, and we'll see if that is broken. Um, so we just see if the chip is actually coming alive. So we're just going to do a little bit more. We're going to just do some more dragging here, make sure we haven't screwed up um, just to make sure that I haven't done anything obviously stupid. Yeah, so down here is great. Here, I mean, definitely this is not as great, this soldering, but I don't think we've got like dramatic issues. Sorry, I left the cartridge in here, so let me just take it out because it's just really hard to probe the pins that way. Okay, so we're going to just go from the top, and then we'll look at the very, very top, right? So boom, boom. Oh, okay. Ooh, that might be system clock. All right, what is that? No, that's not system clock. That's an address line, but that's okay. Um, let's just get in there and see what we can do. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's just an address line. I know these chips, but that was good. That was good to find a broken leg that I missed. That one doesn't look like it's connected, but it is. Okay, so we found a. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the gums like in here. Yeah, yeah. You mean in here maybe? But yeah, I know what you mean. In sometimes in between is this what you mean by the gums? Because sometimes it does trick. It does give you yeah, it can be a trick of the light. Like here, like there, there's some stuff there, but it's not really. Yeah, it's the light usually. Hopefully you can see enough there. Now let's just double check these guys. But I mean, I think we saw on the scope just how much juice is underneath these guys. So I don't think these guys are going anywhere. These are massively attached. Okay, I did fix a leg there. What we're going to do is we will just try another game or try the test cartridge, and then if that doesn't work, we'll try. All right, so that didn't work. Let's go over to game. Okay, so that did not work. Okay, let's do some resetting. Switch it on and do some resetting. So resetting and sort of moving the cartridge sometimes because there's just a little bit of weirdness with that. Yeah, okay, so nothing. Whoa, nothing there. Okay, now that's interesting. All right, so here's what we're going to do next. Let's turn off the. We're going to turn off the thing there. I want to just put the soldering iron over here to the side. All right. We'll do. Here's what I'm going to do. We're just going to do a quick uh, logic test to see if we can detect any life on the CPU. I just want to see if the CPU is running. Okay, so to do that, we need to connect the logic analyzer. So this is the logic. Whoop, I'll plug it out and show it to you. So this is a logic analyzer right here. It has, like basically a breakout where you can attach little attachments here to any pins that you want. What we're going to do is we're going to do something slightly interesting. Let's see. We're going to connect the logic analyzer to the computer. We're going to check the CPU for life and see if the CPU is actually running. And then if the CPU is running, then I think that it's a bad CPU. Now that might sound weird, but it was also running on the other board. So what I mean by that is I had already checked this CPU on another board, and I could tell it was running, but board wouldn't boot. Now this CPU came from this board, and this board used to work. So this was supposed to be a good CPU. So either I've screwed up the resoldering, or this CPU went bad when it was transferred. The real Saleh are it's a knockoff, I think. Kingst, maybe I don't know, maybe it isn't a knockoff. I'm not sure. Kingst. So yeah, it's probably a knockoff. So Chad is asking if this is like some sort of uh, fake chip, and the answer is or fake piece of equipment knocked off by some Chinese manufacturer. The answer is probably yes. Okay. All right. So see what I'm doing there? This is going to be my probe, right, on channel 8 of the logic analyzer. All right. So we're now going to start the logic analyzer. So I need to look for the King software. All right. And then I will add the King software. Let's go. Do I need to do scope? Let's do scope. Yeah, we can do scope. Why is it doing that? All right. Okay, so this is pin 8. There's pin 80, right? You see where it says pin 80? Whoops. Oh dear. Actually, I might want to come up a little bit now that we're not looking for solder bridges. Because it's a little bit claustrophobic in there. All right. So there's our chip. There's our CPU. Um, the clock is pin 71, 72. It's around here somewhere. And it'll be very obvious when you hit it with a logic analyzer. Okay, so we're going to come around here with the logic analyzer. Sorry, yes. Oh my God, what am I doing? Okay, so just got to get. Sorry, I'm trying to channel 8, so I want the top one. God. All right, let me just do this now. Okay, so I'm attaching. Sorry, there's just cables everywhere now. So I'm attaching the ground for the logic analyzer to the board, and then I'm going to bring in, once we're testing, I'll bring in that one. All right, so now we're going to go to scope, so you can see me probing, and then I'm going to add a window, screen capture, display capture, window capture, add source, add a new source. I'm going to call this window capture logi. This is my logic analyzer. I'm going to find the window. There it is. Done. And then we're just going to make this smaller. All right, cool. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, it's a knockoff. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to bring in the logic analyzer, and then we're going to sample, continuous sample, which is this little loop right here. Device disconnected. Yes, it is disconnected. Oh my God. Uh, that's what it looked like if the CPU was working, but that's not what we're doing. This one. Okay. All right. So we're sampling. All right. We're now sampling. So as I touch things on the board, you'll see things go high and low when I switch it on or off. So I'm going to touch. Oh, sorry, I just lost my ground there. That's not good. Let's get the ground on there. So I have to ground the board, or ground the logic analyzer first, which is obviously important. Otherwise, it won't be able to get a signal. A little tricky to do that sometimes. Oh, sorry, you can't see this because I'm trying to just make this work right now. So you can see it, but it's not working right. Okay, so we're almost there. Why is this giving me such trouble? Okay, this should work. Now, okay, so now if I probe on things, you should see channel 8 do something, right? So let's just, I'm going to probe a chip over, a pin over here. Let's bring in our thing. All right, so let's probe this ground pin, and it should give us like a high signal or a low signal. Sorry, just give it a second here. Okay, so all right, now let's probe this pin. All right, so see it went high, low, high, low, high, low. Okay, now let's look for clock. Clock is around here somewhere. Okay, so once we probe it, it'll be very obvious once we hit it. Ooh. Oh boy. Yeah, that's probably a clock signal. Why is that so? Give me a second. Okay, so give me a second. I'm just gonna readjust the magnification so we can look at the clock signal. Um, it's just a little tricky for me to get it right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So there's the clock signal. So this is the same as what I got when this was in the other machine. So this CPU is getting a clock signal. Now, if we look at one of these here, right, this is an address line, right? Sorry, one of these is an address line. Maybe not this one. Oh, interesting. There's data being passed on that. What pin is that? And why can I not see anything then? That's pin 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. Chat, can you just check SNES CPU pin 57? What is that? Because look, I think the CPU is alive. It's weird. That's an address line. Can you just figure out is PA6 an address line? PA6. Yeah, look at all this. Um, so you see the traffic. Let me just zoom out and like when you're probing a CPU like this, right? Now you see when you're probing a CPU like this, you're looking for data going back and forward. You're looking for packet transfer. Usually um, when you reset the ROM, it starts to like read data into the CPU, and that's what you're seeing. Um, Normally, if that's working like that, the CPU is good, and you should start getting, actually good signals and, or sorry, not good signals. The game would work. So little unusual that now. So let me just strange, very strange, chat, very strange. Like that looks to me like a working CPU, but the hidden mysteries of the SNES CPU will ruin your day. So hey, there's a chance that it's just, you know, CPU is trash and that's just the way it is. Sorry, I can't read chat now. Right now, I'm looking at the logic analyzer. Address line for bus B. Where's the the data line? I think data is. I could be wrong, but I think data is back here, which is I think pin maybe 1 to something like here. Look at this. So that's pin I don't know, it's like pin 8 or something maybe. Um, I mean, look, it doesn't mean that the CPU is working. The CPU could be constantly resetting. I don't know enough about those are for address as well. Which is the data line, chat? Which pin? There should be a data bus and an address bus. Okay. Yeah, yeah. See, look at this, right? Like, it's just a lot of working stuff here. Read or write? Read. Because it needs to read from the ROM. Yeah. Sorry, I want to just see what's going on in these pins up here. Strange. Strange, strange, strange. Let me try Super Game Boy now that we fixed that bridge. Hmm. Okay, interesting. Let me do another thing. I'm going to change out this cartridge. I'm going to change out this cartridge slot just in case the cartridge slot. I've got two more up here. Okay, so this is one. I want to leave it here. Okay, this one looks relatively healthy. Let's have a look at this one. Could be the Could it be? And just here's what I'm really surprised by. I'm just surprised that the CPU is so 92 and 68. 92, 68. Okay, we'll check them out. I'm just surprised that the I'm just surprised that there's so much activity on the CPU with um, nothing on screen and just pretty much nothing going on. Weird. Let me just see what's going on. I'm just resetting it and seeing if I can get something out of it. I think that the CPU might be resetting or something because this is really like just nothing. Okay, so okay. Well, let's see if what let's leave that in there for a second. Okay, with the cartridge guy in there. Okay, let me just leave it on for a second. I want to check the logic analyzer again. This pin 51 should um it should go high when the CPU switches on. I mean, we know the CPU is working, so or it's at least somewhat active. So I don't think there's this test might not be all that necessary. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch pin 51. So let me just show you. We're going to just go in here and we're going to touch pin 51. I want to show you, yeah, so 51. We're going to just, that's interesting. Um, what? Okay. Maybe he's paid 50 then. Okay. Yeah, see that? I think it's pin 50. Pin 50 is a reset, and when it see it just on reset it goes low and then high, and that means the CPU is operational. I'm pretty sure that's what pin 50 is. Let me just double check. Um, but yeah, a little bit interesting. Um, yeah, pin 50 is a reset pin. Pin 48 is 21 megahertz clock. 72 is the output clock. You know, if the output clock is working, which is 72, the CPU should be alive, right? So if you look here, right, this is 72 is right here. These two pins, see? So if you count back, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 80. Sorry, that's 76, 7, 8. Yeah, that's 74. Yeah, 73. Sorry, 2, 71, 70, 69. Yeah, I guess that's right. 70 and 69. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, 50 is reset. Yeah, okay. Um, bomb. 72 system clock. 71 So 79, 1, 2, 3, 77, 4, 76, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so a little tricky there. Yeah. Okay, so reset. Um, X in is 48. Let's just check X. I mean, we know X in is working because system clock is out. So the clock in is 48, which should be this one. You see, there's the clock right there, right? There's the crystal oscillator. So the and it's going in on pin 48. Sorry, I reset it there. See? So there's your crystal oscillator, there's your clock in, and then whoops, sorry, and then your clock at, oh my gosh, it's a little tricky to keep all this stuff together. I'm sorry. Just probing this stuff is a little bit so yes. Whoa. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1. Oh, interesting. Why is there nothing on 1? One sec. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Uh, okay, wait a second. Um, 79, 78, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, right? 72. 72 is system clock. Okay. 72 system clock. 71. Okay, CPU clock. Okay, so that's out, and that's the output, right? So there might be some the CPU might be in a weird state. People that really know the CPU, like on NesDev forums and stuff, they know what things should look like when they plug in a particular game. They'll hook up multiple things to a hot logic analyzer, and they'll watch for a pattern that they know comes from like Super Mario World or whatever. Um, I'm not at that level with this CPU, but I mean the CPU looks like it's working. Um, the problem is it's just not displaying anything. So let me just switch off that. I want to pull out the sound. I want to pull out the sound daughter board for a second. Okay, still nothing. All right. So at this point, I think it's a bad CPU. I think I damaged the CPU or something else. Do I have other CPUs here? Yeah, I have two. I have an SCPU-A, I have an SCPU, and I have an SCPU-A. Yeah, it's too late to solder another one. I guess we could. All this headache could be saved if you redid it. Yeah, well, I don't. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's the issue though. Um, You mean yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying reseat it with hot air, like just let it just um hot air it until it sits down itself, like sits into its little spot. Yeah, okay, let's do that. All right, chat's got an idea, which is to um which I like, which is to redo. So what we did is we went pin by pin and we checked every pin, right? Um, what chat's suggesting is corrosion around video out. I mean, there's a little bit, but like not on the video out is the sorry, let me just switch back. Video out is yeah, the corrosion around video out would be on the RCA or the sorry, the RF output. Um, but it's not really that bad on um the other one, you know. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to reseat the CPU. Uh, I'm going to just shine some light on it over there. So yeah, so as chat was saying, um, oh, actually, you know what? I can't do it with that. I need. Give me a second. Okay, I don't want to melt this. That's my little holder. I don't want to melt that. Careful not to blow it off or more out of place. I will definitely try. Um, um, I think I'll just do the same thing again, chat, which is I'll use the same square thing because it doesn't have as much airflow and it probably won't blow it off. If it does blow it off, then well, it wasn't meant to be. All right, here we go. Oh, before I do it, I think um, the thermocouple was useful in my opinion. Um, I mean, I think it was a little bit sketcheroo, and but it was so this little sucker right here that was useful to have in my opinion. So I'm gonna put that on. Okay, 27 degrees. And I think that we reseated this in the sort of 240, 230 range. And I'm going to just leave that there because it's kind of here where it's going to get Okay. I don't know that it reseated, to be honest. What I can say is it didn't really reseat. Uh, Caps of vegan eating a trace away. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. For some reason that really didn't. Yeah, it didn't reseat there, and I was kind of just been trying to be careful not to. Um, what you call it? I was trying to be careful not to overcook it, but let's just try one more time. Yeah, okay. Let me just try that one more time, okay? It's funny, like, the thermocouple, it says like 250. You don't want to heat these chips past 260, and so I'm just trying to be somewhat careful and stop when I get to a certain point, but let's just try it one more time. Okay. I don't know that we really got it, to be honest, but yeah, maybe what I really needed to do there was maybe have a little bit of weight on it, maybe, but it just didn't seem to want to reseat, guys, so that's a bit of a pain. Um, Give me a second here. Okay. Let me see what I can do. Let's just see if let's try it after this, okay? And see if um let's see if we can get it going with the with 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 when this cools down a little bit. Okay. All right. We'll just do this, and hey, it didn't work out this evening, but I mean, look, this stuff is not easy. It's tricky, right? It's really tricky sometimes to get this stuff going. Um, wow, yeah. See that chip gets that chip's getting really hot, So probably, the chip just might be damaged at this point, and we just kind of chalk it down to experience. Um, just a lot of stuff on that. Okay, so that's that. Just leave that there. Just gonna get some more Kim wipes here. Okay. Yeah, so bit of a shame that we didn't get to fix it, but I mean, I think that's just the way it goes with fixing stuff sometimes, It just won't work. Um, you just got to be patient with it and try next time. And try again the next time. All right, let's okay, CPU is a little bit warmer now. Uh, let me just check that. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know if I made it better or worse, but I don't think it made it worse, but I don't think it made it better either. So let's now that we've done a little bit of a reflow, let's plug it in. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're just going to take this off. A lot of flux on this. All right, we'll just move back to the thing. And if this doesn't work, folks, we'll call it a night. But sorry about that if it's just didn't happen. Um, Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Um, it just will be interesting now just to see if just to see what do we get on so that CPU. So that CPU is probably broken, is my guess. Probably a broken CPU. Um, Let me just go again. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. What a shame. Now, okay, so that doesn't work. Let's try Hal's hole in one again. Hmm. Okay. Now let's probe Hal's hole in one for 1 second. Sorry, I just want to see if after putting it back on the board, like, do we still have a clock signal? Like, was there something else? Like, did I make it better or worse? Is it really messed up? That's not what I wanted. Where's the? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Oh, sorry. Well, that's not going to work. We need the plastic. Okay, so I'm just going to put the plastic underneath here. Okay. Ah, all right. Okay, let's just check clock. Oh, wait a sec. Mini scope thermal view. Where did I put the? Yeah, sorry, I need to find the view where I had the other scope. There it is. Whoop. Clock, clock. Yeah, so like you see, you know, really strange, right? So the CPU, even though we burnt it to a crisp there, still works to some degree. Doesn't work perfectly, but something's going on with it. Let me just have a quick look here at the CPUs that I have spare. I want to just see which one of these I could use. Uh, that leg looks. Oh, is that is one of those legs damaged? Oh yeah, that's. Maybe just fix that. Okay, so let me just see if this CPU. Let me just see what I can do here. Where am I? What am I doing? Okay. All right. So let's just. Well, if we want to fix him, we're gonna have to. Okay. That's that leg fixed. This leg. Yeah, we need to fix that leg. Other legs look okay. All right, so they're all okay now. Okay. So that's a usable CPU or potential. That's a potential donor. Take a look at this new other one here. Uh, little bit of a chip ridge, but otherwise perfect. Okay, so also donor. All right, let's go back here. Okay, take out the power, take out the power. Let's go back. All right. Okay, then let's go back to the overhead maybe. Yeah. All right, let's get this chip off. I don't know if I'm gonna put a new one on, but let's get this chip off because I think as we've all seen, um, the placing of this one was not so good. So, um, I don't know if that was the reason why this has not worked, but we're gonna do a okay. We're gonna do the old flipperoo. Oh, wait a sec. Let me add the. Let me just put on the thermocouple because at this point I like just having it there. Just so I can kind of just so I can even generally know when it's going to pop. All right. Okay. Now, it kind of popped, which is a little bit tricky the way it popped, but Hopefully I'll be able to get it up from here without, did it, yeah, it's off. Yeah, it got up, it came up. Okay, so that's the chip off. So I'm going to just take that one and we can put it over here in the bad pile. Uh, I mean, from a put new chips on perspective, um, uh, what? Just clean that for a sec. Okay, yeah. So let me just clean this. Oh, now well, now I have the hoof tip, which is probably not the best, but for cleaning it up, but probably do the job. Um, okay. All right, we're just going to do that, and then we're going to get our. Just going to pick up. All right. So there's only so many times we're going to be able to do it for this board, but you know, let's just see what we can do. Yeah, so you can see here we've got obviously a lot of extra solder here, right? All right. So we've cleaned off those pins. And you can see here where the pins didn't go down well, right? So this is kind of let me just put this over here. Okay. And probably my mistake here, if you remember, was also that probably some of the pins lifted because I didn't take all of the solder off of the legs or off of the things here. So that's probably part of it too. Now, okay, so at this point, we've got pretty much a perfectly clean um, landing pad for our chip.
right? There's pretty much no solder left, um, and for the most part, oh, there's a little bit of an issue there. Might have a little bit here. But most part it's fine. But there is a little bit there. We just want to go get. Okay, so yeah, I want to just get this bit. Okay, yeah, and then here I want to just get just little risen bits. Just make sure that I've got that. Okay, all right. I think we've got the majority of it there. Okay, need that. I'm going to just, I am going to put down a new CPU, and then we're going to see what it does, and then we'll call the night then. So yeah, we'll place a new CPU. We're going to clean this first, and then we will call it a night if it doesn't work. Okay. All right. So CPU landing spot looks good. Obviously, the more we pull and pry at this board, more chance we are going to lift pads, but I think we're in decent shape here with this one. So, okay, let's pull a chip. Let's pick a chip. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to just, okay, we're gonna just take this one and roll the dice. Okay, so Nintendo, it always goes that orientation. Okay, let's try and see what we can do. Okay, well that's perfectly oriented on one side, but not the other. So you can see here, gets a little tricky. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to, this thing is freaking blinding me. Okay, nope, that won't work. That might work. We have to see on the other side. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so little tricky. Okay, so let me just bring this up a little bit further. Okay, so can we get the whole chip in here? Almost. Let me see. Yeah, I've got that there. Yeah. It's not that hard to line them up, but you know, it can get tricky. Okay. Okay, let's just get these two sides lined up. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Yeah, I think what's happening is it's getting caught on something and it's just hard for me to fix that. Okay, so yeah, okay, okay. All right, so that's kind of right. That's kind of right. Okay, I think that's kind of right. No. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay, so I think I had it and then it popped, I think. And of course, there's obviously some solder under these legs of this chip as well, so it just makes it a little trickier. Okay. Now, okay. That looks pretty good, but I don't know if it's perfect, but it's getting there. Those other legs are reasonably good. Okay. Needs a little nudge, but it'll probably mess it up. Hmm. Yep, that messed it up. Actually, let me see. I'm sorry. Sorry, folks. This is just a little bit frustrating because it's just because this chip has been taken off once or twice. Hmm. Okay, just having a little bit of difficulty here. I think what might be happening is there might be a little bit of issue with the back of this chip having a lot of. I think it's there's a little bit of gel on the back of it or flux on the back that I need to dissolve and get off. Might be part of it. Yeah, it might be part of what's going wrong here. I'm not 100. Oh, hang on, something else has gone wrong now, has it? Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a tiny amount of solder left on the pads. Yeah, it could be that. I think there's also some on the chip though, you know. Yeah, this is much easier now. Okay, I want to just tack this. Give me one sec. One second. Oh, I think I screwed something up here. No, I screwed something up. Sorry. Actually, this might be okay. What is going on? Sorry. Sorry, there's something going on here with the. Um, okay. And then, sorry. Didn't I turn off the iron? Uh, no, I turned off the hot air gun. But yeah, the iron does feel a little bit iffy, though. I will say that the iron feels a little bit like just it's not the heat's not there or something. I don't know. Maybe it's been on too long. All right, so let's so uh we've got the largely largely we've got the board but the chip is nicely seated and way better than last time, I can tell you that much. So let's um let's do side by side and get it done. Okay. Okay, so that's one side done. Let's do this other side. Oh yeah. Exactly. It's just this, right? It's just moving to the other side. Yeah. Okay, now let's just do that. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So we'll just do it this way. This is a little tricky, actually. Yeah, I still got plenty of solder in there, so we will actually let's do this side first. Let's do this side. Okay, that should be good. Then let's just do this side. All right. And there's your drag soldering. Okay, so let's get my little pin. My little. I'm just going to get my little pin that I've got, and we'll just check some of these for. Oh, do we have one? Yeah, just one. I mean, obviously, just fix that. Okay, all right, we're nearly there. Hmm. Okay, interesting. So just go down across them again. Okay. Okay, so several of these didn't take, so I'm going to fix that. Yeah, no, right. Yeah, there are several chats that are not on, unfortunately. And I'm wondering if that's might be another case of the jumpies where these pins are actually way up. No, he's not on. Yeah, there's several pins here. I think we might have a case of the jumpies on this one. So, oh, that's a shame. I mean, it's just a pain to need to do this now, but yeah, we just to put a lot more solder on, which is gonna cause some bridges. That's okay. Now, why is that one still and that one? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that now shortly, chat. Yeah, if I keep having this issue. I think yeah, like at this point, it's kind of the it's just the irregularity of the chip, I think, and the fact that it's been, uh, it's it's the fact that it's been maybe on and off a couple of times is just causing it to be a little bit giving me chip. God, look at that. Yeah, you're right.
So one of those legs must be lifted up, is what it is. So let's just make sure we know which one it is. Yeah, so okay. I think I bridged that one though. I'll have to fix that, but yeah, I think I bridged it, but it's okay. I think I've, but yeah, well, obviously I didn't fix it there, but okay. All right, so let's move on to the next section. There probably I have a funny feeling there'll be a few here. Oh no, interesting. That whole row is perfect. Okay, and that whole row is perfect. Oh, wait now. Yeah, that that leg is not right. Oh, well, so that whole side is not good. All right, so we will bring down. Okay, so we're almost out of time. Okay, so that's bridge there. We'll fix that. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it looks like that leg is too close to. Okay. I'm just. Ouch! Oh, my neck. Okay, so I have to. Oh, that's a shame. So we have a bridge between those two pins, and that's not going to be easy to get rid of. Uh, that's a shame. Okay, just got to fix that. Got to fix that bridge, and then we can test it. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do is push this pin over here. And so the only way for me to do that is to heat it and push it. Come on. Why isn't it moving? Uh, that's weird. I'm not sure why that's working. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm trying to push this pin over, but it just won't lift. Yeah, there's something going on there. It might. They might actually be separate though. So I think they're separated, chat. So I don't think I really need to go at it, to be honest. Yeah, they're not bridged. Those two pins aren't bridged. So it's attached to the ground pad. It's just that you have to heat the ground pad a lot probably to get the um to get it to unlock is my guess. Um and that's why it's not allowing me to do that. So I wanna let me just heat the ground pad and see what I can do.
Yeah, to your point, the very tip. Yeah. Now the thing is, I then now I might have too much. Now I might have too much stuff. You know that's kind of what happened the last time. Um, so I have to undo what I just did. So annoying. What is going on? I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Tip upside down. Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. My God, how much of a pain was that? Let's not let him get up again. All right. If this CPU doesn't work, it's staying on this board forever anyway. All right. Okay. Nice job, chat. Okay. And jeez, I didn't really mean to spend all night at this now, to be honest. Um, but what are you gonna do? Okay, and let's just try these. Sorry. Okay, and then try these. Okay, and then try these. Oh, that's bridged. Okay, that's bridged, but that's okay. It's kind of the only one. All right, that's bridged. Let me just fix that. All right, that's fixed. All right, let me just clean it.
Good enough, exactly. Okay, let's just move that over there. Um, sorry. Why is that doing that? Okay. All right, let's just have a quick look at the legs, make sure no bridges. Who knows? It's probably bad CPU anyway. Okay, no bridges. No bridges. No bridges. All right, let's see what happens. All right, this doesn't work going to bed anyway, it doesn't matter. Absolutely wrecked. Um, switch this off. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. You likey? You likey? We likey. Huh. Good. Good, good, good. So that's a good CPU. Fixed it. Still doing the waves, yeah, but that's just caps. Um, that's just caps. So this is a bad CPU. I mean, we're pretty sure, right? So let me just like that CPU is hosed. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put a little marker on that. All right, so that was what? 3 hours, 24 minutes. You're still thinking this CPU is good? Could be. I mean, hey, look. Um, I'll put a marker on it, and I'll say maybe. Maybe. But that's a good CPU there, that's for sure. So we've gotten this one back up and running again. I think that's pretty awesome. Not gonna waste your time over it though. Yeah, well, I mean, at least we know we fixed this one. Um, so I think we'll call that a win. Now, what I'm going to do next is, let's just, sorry, so let's just, so this is good. This is good. Not a total waste of a night, as the man says. Let's get Hal's Hold'em on golf. It's got a um, mode 7 intro. 1 second now. Yeah, good experience, exactly. Yeah. Okay, now 1 second. Yeah, good experience for fixing CPUs, 100%. Oh, 1 sec. Why is that not? Um, Interesting. Okay, so why is okay? 1 second. I just want to go back and just do the. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, sorry. Okay, cool. All right. Now, Hal's hole in one golf. Let's just see. Hal's hole in one golf's a weird startup. It kind of okay. Hal's hole in one golf's not going to work. All right, let's see. Mm, Yeah, no, I don't think it died, but I think, yeah, 1 second, hang on. Just me 1 second. I want to just switch it off and just plug in the controller port. All right, and let me just get a controller. Let's just see if it passes the test because it could be that maybe the CPU is. Let's just try to burn in, just see what happens. Oh, the burn in doesn't even start. All right. Okay. Well, sorry to disappoint everybody. So it's doing some degree. Okay, so let's do controller test. Yeah, okay, so it's not doing, it's loading the menu, but nothing else. All right, well, better than nothing. I mean, it's still experience, right? Like it just shows you that there's maybe something going on. Oh, 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 was it because, so here's what I did. I just plugged in the you probably saw me do it, right? I plugged in the sound module. Yeah, I plugged in this. You saw me do it over here, right? Because my hand is here. I plugged in the sound module. Yeah, there's your waves, but there's nothing wrong with the chips. Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I guess I'm 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 now surprised, right? So did Hal's Hole in One not boot because the sound chips was out? Yeah, that was it. Okay. All right. I think I've tested enough stuff now. I don't want anything else to break. There we go. There's mode 7. Toot. Hal's Hole in One golf. There's mode 7. It's all working. Sweet. All right, everybody. Thanks everybody for hanging on. I don't know how many people hung on, to be honest. Cap kits win. I have a ton of cap kits arriving from console 5, so I will recap these as well. But this was good. We found a good CPU. Okay, that's good. All right. So now, I kind of want to keep that board then. What I might do is this is a Japanese board. I might swap it out, swap out the power for. I might swap out this power for you know, for the US, and then yeah, I could swap it into a US board maybe, or sorry, a US shell. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. It's good enough for now. Oh my God, it's such a mess in here. All right, good night, everybody. We did it. Yay!